Now that you've logged in, let me show you an example tour that I've created. I'm going to show you what yours should end up looking like. So here's my personal history tour. Notice that we have the different events that I had organized in after my brainstorm. I had taken them from here and I moved them down into here. And now we're going to embed them within this personal history tour to give you that insight. So first I have a title image, a title page, personal history tour, my name, and this is a picture of my family at a hike in San Francisco that is called Land's End. It's one of our favorite hikes there. And I've got an overview of the tour. This is a tour of my relationship with my community as captured by significant events and experiences in my past. These significant events and experiences include some of the important places in my life, some of the choices I have made, some of the things I have done, as well as my interactions with the forces and institutions that shape the world I live in. So notice here how the embedded map is the geography. And the significant events and experiences that relate to some of the choices I've made, there's the economics. Some of the things that I have done, there's just the society and culture piece, as well as my interactions with the forces. That is an attempt to bring in the political piece with the struggle to have power over the decisions that are made and the institutions that shape the world we live in. So that's a nod to government, because government has institutions that it's created to both create the rules and enforce the rules that it creates. So within my introduction is a connection to government, economics, politics, geography, and society and culture. And now let's go into my first slide. So my first section is Sandy Brook Lane. Notice that I have pictures here. There are 20 pictures embedded. I've got my title and I have my date. So notice this is not a singular event. We have August 1986 to September 2019. So it's not going to be an autobiographical story of a singular event like you told when you wrote your bell work on Friday, or like the story of Disneyland where I split my lip that I told you about today. This captures a broader set of experiences. And so it's a different type of nonfiction. It's more of a summary of what went on there. But you'll see how it connects to society and culture. And that's why I've titled this slide or this summary, Society and Culture. So this is or subtitled, I should say, because the real title here is Sandy Brook Lane, right? This is the place I grew up and raised my children. My parents moved my family here in 1986 and still live here today. It is the place where I learned to swim. My kids learned to swim, and where we have experienced decades of weekend football games on the TV, Halloweens, Thanksgivings, Christmas celebrations, Easters, 4th of July barbecues, birthdays, and visits from family and friends. And then when we go up to the pictures, notice here in this picture is my daughter with a Christmas tree in the background. That is an example. It's a document of that experience. Here she is with some family from Hawaii. That's her second cousin, my cousin's daughter. And they came to visit us a couple years ago. Here, my daughter and son are just enjoying themselves over food and interacting with each other. This is my dad's cat and the pets that we have here. Hudson is my son celebrating Easter, another holiday, right? Here we see my cousins coming up from Southern California, my cousin Sam and his wife Anna, and then their son and daughter, Wyatt and Gracie, having dinner, sharing food with my daughter Addison. And notice there's this magnifying glass because you can click on that and it's trying to get you, make those pictures bigger, right? So there's that option. You go in there. There's Hudson and Gracie. Again, there's Hudson when he was a baby, right? So you can see how he's grown up in this house and had these experiences over time. There's my daughter and my dad. This is one of her Christmas outfits. So again, holiday time. You can also see the holiday decorations in the background. And here they are playing in the pool together, which is one of those cultural memories, right? One of those experiences, those traditions of playing in the summer in the pool that I experienced and that my kids now experience. So you can get the sense of how these pictures can enrich the experience. Now, again, moving along, you don't have to have a ton of pictures. I could have enriched this by having pictures of when I went to school here at Browns Valley. And if I had the opportunity to get pictures from my parents' house, I definitely could do that. And I probably will at some point to improve this exemplar. But again, I have the dates that I attended, September 1986 to June 1992. And I've got the subtitle, Society, Culture, and Government. This is the place where I learned how to read, write, and subtract, multiply, and divide. Here, I made my first friends. I had my first leadership opportunities here. As a lieutenant in the crossing patrol, I was trained by Police Officer Stornetta. So even before we get to the end of this summary, again, not a specific singular story, which would be appropriate if you had an example that was that specific, right? You would have a story like we worked on Friday, and you would insert that here. So this is more that broad summary, but you can see how it already incorporates the cultural or the societal aspects and the government piece. I was trained in crossing patrol by Police Officer Stornetta. Down here, I was also taught by teachers who were paid with tax dollars. So all that connects back to that government piece. And notice all along how we started here, Sandy Brook Lane, and moved to Browns Valley Elementary. And that was my walk to school every day. And notice how the pictures or the maps move. And there's that embedded geographic piece because, again, all of these stories have a place at the center. So it's all about connecting to that geography or the places in our lives and our relationship to those environments. Here is the environment of Browns Valley Elementary School that I grew up in, right? And again, then it moves to Redwood Middle School and then Napa High School, where I went to high school. And I could have pictures embedded here. And of course, I would have my story connecting to those. So you can see how then when I go down to UCSB, the map moves and migrates down to Santa Barbara to capture that place. And so this is why it is a personal history tour. We're choosing these events, whether they're singular or whether they're experiences that cover large periods of time, which we write a summary for, as opposed to a specific story. But we have these geographic places as well that help give a sense of where the experience took and the environment in which we were relating. So with that said, it is now time to get to work on your own. You can rewatch this as many times as you need to get that sense of what you should be doing. And of course, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask at this time. Best of luck.